To say this, but I'm gonna have to cut the music because I'm worried I'm gonna get copyright claimed if I don't. Knox,
Hi.
this BRB screen mocks me.
Yeah. Mocks me too.
So let's start by talking a little bit about Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is an anime
Mm.
that I didn't end up watching until I was like 17. Took me a long time to watch this show. Very good. I think we
Yeah,
can
I
we
watched it once, like, early, and then I watched it again probably around the same age.
yeah. So obviously, when I was like, who will I watch Bebop with? Obviously, it was gonna be you because
Mm-hmm.
you and I have the most knowledge of Bebop.
Yes. I don't
So
remember a lot of it, but I remember most things.
yeah. So when this was announced, I guess it would have been 3 years ago or so. I was like, wow, okay. And obviously, people right off the bat, without pictures, without anything, were like, this is gonna fucking suck. It's gonna be
I mean,
horrible.
I was one of those people.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But
Cause honestly, the anime is just so nice all around.
yeah,
Like, it's
I
such a
know.
well-rounded show. Like, there's not much a live action adaptation could improve upon.
Yeah. Well,
But
let's change our. Hold on. I have a setup for us. There we go. So I I kept an open mind. I
mhm.
wanted to believe that it could be good. I didn't want the weebs to win going into the
Yeah,
first
nobody ever
episode.
does.
Yeah, nobody ever does. Uh, I wanted to like it.
The what came out first? One of the trailers or the opening?
I think a small. They released pictures, and then I
Mhm.
think they released
Mhm.
the opening, and then they released that weird like Scott Pilgrim esque like meta trailer, which I
Mhm.
skimmed through, and I was like, oh, this is kind of corny. I was like, I hope the show's not like this. Uh
Yeah,
oh.
the opening looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I changed my mind. I was like, "Oh, maybe this will be good.
Yeah, no,
Like, it looks
the opening
nice."
looked good. I remember one of my first thoughts being this looks like a fan film, which
Mhm.
isn't necessarily always a bad thing.
No.
Fan films sometimes look great. Um, this looks kind of cringe. Yeah, I did like skim it. I was like, oh, these jokes are a little a little bad. I was like, I'm sure it's just for to ham it up for the trailer. So I went in, open mind,
Mhm.
open heart,
Yep.
let myself get hurt again. Because Knox, would you like to tell me just straight off the bat before we go into any detail, did you like this show?
No.
Did I like this show? No.
God no.
Don't watch this show.
Basic premise. Don't watch it. Even if you just hate watching it, don't.
Don't don't. It'll get a season 2 cuz it's Netflix, but just don't watch this
Yeah,
show.
and it's in like the top 10
Oh
watched,
god.
unfortunately. I'm not surprised by it, but
Like
I
I
just
said, I went
thought a
in with
little
an
bit.
open mind, but damn, this show is real bad.
So hard to
I don't
throw
know
everything.
from a viewpoint of somebody who's never seen Bebop, which isn't either of us. I couldn't tell you. Um, I couldn't tell you if anyone would like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody must like this statistically.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want it to
Like,
get a season 2 and hopefully do the writing better?
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But, like, although it is, like, in the top 10 most watched on Netflix at the moment, I wonder, like, the ratio of how many people actually like it
I wonder
versus.
the ratio of the people who actually made it past episode 1.
Yes.
Just because it's the most viewed thing on Netflix doesn't necessarily mean that could be the most viewed episode one
Yeah, yeah,
could be
just
all the
episode 1.
views.
And then episode like the final episode could just be
Yeah,
like barely
it's just the
anybody.
people who like skip to the end, which there are
You
people like that.
Yeah, you did go through like the reviews
I
and like
did. I
saw
that will
that.
be a part of this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about the IMDb rating specifically as we go through. Um, but let me get my you Knox and I, we decided around episode 3 that we should probably be taking notes.
Like 3 or 4,
Yeah,
yeah.
because we were like, okay, this is bad, but if we're gonna watch all of it, we might as well turn it to stream content
And tell the people.
and tell the
Let the
people
people
not
know.
let the people know not to watch this fucking show. So that we did. OMG, this is like half in the bet. What the fuck? Saturn Rolf Turbo?
Turbo. Oh no.
What happened? You went
Hold,
turbo, Rolf?
hold on, Ralph. What the heck? What happened?
Rolf went turbo.
Oh
Oh my
no.
god! Ralph! He went turbo!
He went turbo.
Rolf left his game. Oh no!
Oh
Oh no,
no.
Rolf left his game. Turbotastic!
Turbotastic. Okay.
But continue. Alright, we will continue.
Okay.
So we started taking notes. Um, I also want to point out that throughout this, Nox started making more and more angry grunts and less comments on the show. This took us. This came out on Friday, right?
Yeah.
And we finished it today. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what 4 days ish.
Yes.
So it took us like 4 days. We didn't watch any yesterday, on Sunday, but that's right, Jay. That's right, Knox. Uh, all right. So let's get into our Cowboy Bebop Netflix review.
Oh boy. Just starting with episode 1.
Yeah. So we went into it, and immediately, episode 1, my immediate, I believe, 5 minutes in, I was like, I wonder if this will be. It could have either been two things, guys, this show: a carbon copy of the anime or something else entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And what we got was a mix of the two,
Yeah,
and
interestingly enough.
both were bad.
Yeah. I mean, okay, the visuals were there. I think it
Yeah,
looked really good. The
the
CG was really
show.
nice.
Yeah, the CG's okay. CG's okay, but I think the set
Yeah.
design is like really good.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Like
A lot of the things looked like how they were on the show.
yeah, like what you're looking at right now on the stream. That's a shot from the show, and that looks like the fucking Bebop.
Yeah, the Bebop.
The
It looked like
Bebop
the
is like
Bebop.
1-to-1 design. I was very surprised. I was like, holy
Mm-hmm.
shit.
Like major kudos to that.
I wonder if that's where all the money went, and not the
Could be.
writing. It's possible that all the money went to set design and not the writing or dialogue.
Oh, I can believe that.
All right.
But
Um.
yeah, the first episode was basically the first episode of the anime, if you know it. It was basically 1-to-1 there too.
Yeah. It was
The
one to
only
one.
thing was
Yeah.
that Faye showed up.
Faye shows up. The female character Faye shows up in episode 1. Where in the anime she shows up in episode 3 or 4,
3.
which obviously to speed things along to kind of uh obviously she's billed in the credits, so like obviously you got to get
Hmm.
her in there and get her paid. But that's the odd thing about it. Not to spoil too much, she doesn't show up in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, she's not there at all.
She's not
They don't
in
even
2
mention
or
her.
3. They don't even mention her. Faye
So like
shows
we're
up and
like,
shoots, and she's
okay,
like,
what's the
"Oh my!" And
point?
yeah, and she's not in 2 or 3. So we're like, "Is Faye dead?"
You were like, what's the point of introducing her early when they're not even going to show her
She
in the
shoot,
next
she
couple
scoot.
episodes?
She shoot, she scoot. That's exactly what happened. We thought, we were like, what? Um but yeah, besides that, it was kind of one to one. There was there was something we immediately noticed that kind of put us on edge. It was how much Julia and Vicious show up in this show, which we'll get
Yes.
into a little bit more.
Like all of a sudden we just saw them like in where were they in
Vicious
first
showed up right at
order?
the end of the episode.
Okay.
Right at the end. I don't know if Julia was even in this one, but we'll get into who
Don't
Vicious
remember,
looks
but
like
oh.
and the energy he brings to this television show.
He's got
Oh,
energy.
he's got an energy. Um, it's horrid. The first episode, it's not horrible. This episode,
Yeah, it's
it
decent.
it was one of the more decent ones, mostly because it was like basically a carbon copy of the first episode of Bebop.
That can be like good or bad depending on the remake.
Right, right.
But this one, it wasn't
It wasn't
terrible.
terrible. That's kind of why we kept watching.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were
we weren't
like,
completely turned off. We're
we
just
weren't
like,
completely
okay,
turned
it's
off at this point. It took till episode 2 and 3 for us to be like, so we're gonna watch the rest of this, right? And Knox was like, I guess. And we
yeah. I
certainly
didn't
did.
want to, but I was morbidly curious, as you said at one point.
So I did not take notes for episodes 1 through 3, so I went back and wrote them today from what Knox could remind me of them.
I had recorded our sessions of reacting to the episodes
Yes,
past episode 2
which is
because
good.
at one point it just began to get a little crazy and I
It's
knew I had to just
yeah,
document
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
I'll
So
probably cut those down and like post it
I
somehow
would love
later.
if you at least cut some of the funnier moments, cause
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah. All right. So what I have written for episode 1 is it was the Bebop episode 1, but Faye was there, but then she disappears for 3 episodes, and then starts with the exact opening scene from the movie. That's right. We forgot to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I pointed this out to Knox because Knox didn't remember the movie as well. Um, the opening scene to episode 1 is carbon copy of the opening scene to the Bebop movie, which I
The
thought was
movie.
a very weird choice. Because I've gone on record of saying that I actually like the Cowboy Bebop movie more than the show because I'm a weirdo.
No, I don't blame you for that. The movie's good.
Yeah, the
I like
movie,
the movie.
I love the movie, and just seeing that it was just a copy of the scene from the movie was real weird. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I hope they don't try to copy the movie anymore because I would hate to see it. But we'll get into that, won't we, Doc? We'll get into that in episode 10, won't we?
Oh, yeah, we will. Why was live action considered in the first place? Look at Disney Whitetail. That's all I have to tell you.
I was about to say basically the same thing. I was just going to say money!
Yeah, yeah.
Money.
That's
Cash
what everyone's
cow.
fucking
They
doing.
went, yes, they played this for 15 years on Adult Swim. They'll love this one.
I could go on and on about how
Money.
animation to live action remakes, but that'll be like another stream completely, so I won't.
Mm. Cash cowboy. I had coffee in my mouth. I think that's enough about episode 1.
Wait, Ryan! I
Huh?
just I just realized the cowboy wasn't in the fucking
Oh,
show.
you're right. Oh my god, Cowboy Andy wasn't in this fucking show at all.
They had his name in it,
Yeah,
but
they
they
had his
didn't
name.
show him.
There's a character in a later episode of Cowboy Bebop that just kind of looks a little bit like Gene Wilder, and he rides a horse, and like whistling cowboy music plays every time he comes. It's a fantastic episode. But that's the episode with the teddy bear bomber, and they completely cut him out of that episode.
Yeah, yeah,
I
right.
wonder if they couldn't get a horse.
They could get everything but a horse.
They got everything but a horse. Um, is Germa a crypto bro now? What?
Is
Eh,
it because of the Sim Dollhouse stream?
maybe maybe I don't know. He
I
could
don't know.
be. He has talked about investing in crypto, but what he does off stream, that's that's his own thing. He doesn't talk about his private life. This isn't a Germa thing. This isn't a Germa stream.
Yeah, I
Back
haven't
to the
played the
show.
org.
I think we've talked about episode 1 enough.
Yeah, episode one.
Don't
That's
worry,
that's
guys. We have 9 more left. Well, it,
more
seven
or
and a
less.
half more left.
Okay.
All right.
Episode
Episode
two.
2. What
What was
happened in
episode
this
two?
one? Ah, yes. This is
What was
another
episode?
one that was kind of like a mix between show and made up stuff.
Oh yeah, this was the
The teddy
quote
bear.
unquote Ein one, right?
Oh yeah, the quote unquote Ein. Was this really it?
I thought it was. It didn't have dog in the
No,
title of
this was
this
the
one.
teddy bear one, wasn't it?
This was the teddy bear.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is
yeah,
the
yeah,
teddy
yeah,
bear
yeah.
one. The
Yeah,
Ein
yeah.
one's the next one.
I'm starting to mix them up
Yeah,
already.
that's fair. All right, so this one was fucking weird. This was around the time where Knox and I were like, oh boy, oh boy. We were just like really quiet. Like the scenes that were supposed to be funny weren't making us laugh at all. And we were
Mm-hmm.
just kind of sitting there for like long periods of silence where we're just like, what?
Mm-hmm.
This is when we realized that they were they had okay. For anyone that doesn't know anything about Bebop, there is a character named Vicious, who is Spike Spiegel's like rival. They used to be in the syndicate together.
Yeah, he's like the big villain.
Yeah, he's like the big villain of the show. He barely appears in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Bitches, yeah, Bitches. His name is Bitches. He barely appears in the anime. A few episodes here and there. Mostly big episodes like season finale, mid-season finale, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In this show, they decided to take Vicious and make him a main character.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, they decided to have him be played by a guy who looks exactly like Lucius Malfoy from
From
Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter. Yep. Draco's dad.
And his face, guys, his face, holy shit, his face. I can't, it's
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 incredible.
indescribable. He doesn't look like an anime villain, I'll tell you that much. Let me see if I can get a picture of him. It's bad. All right, I will get a picture of Vicious from the anime for comparison. Not that fucking saved. Hold on.
Imagine knowing about Harry Potter. Yeah, I kind of wish I didn't,
Yeah, I
but
kind of wish I didn't, but I kind of grew up with it.
yeah, as did I.
All right, so there's a picture of Vicious from the Bebop anime. Again, only appeared in I want to say 3 episodes, maybe 4. It
Maybe.
wasn't many. He didn't get much dialogue either. Just mostly brooding and shit
Yeah,
like
short,
that.
greasy man.
Yeah, just a greasy man who wanted Spike dead. Let me see if I can find a particularly good shot of this
Just go
dude.
back like in your media on
Uh,
Twitter if you can't.
ooh,
Like
oh,
he looks really intimidating, don't he?
yeah. Ooh, oh, uh,
Look at this bitch.
Why? Why? Oh, I squished him. I squished him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So that's that. Um. Holy shit.
Oh, you gotta get a couple more shots from when you were
I
watching.
thought it. Yeah, I know. I thought it was a joke. I thought I was being pranked. What is this? Why?
Look at this dude. Like
Could've-
nothing on the casting, but just like
I
or
mean,
nothing
I'm
on the
sure
dude,
he's a
but
fine actor.
yeah. But
It's worth mentioning that I'm sure these are all fine actors.
Yeah,
We
they're all great actors, but
we
for the
haven't gotten into the
characters,
dialogue in this show. We haven't talked about the dialogue in this show,
you
guys.
ever wanted Cowboy Bebop to be a sitcom?
It's,
No,
it's
nobody does.
fucking miserable. It's fucking miserable. I hate
But that's what we got.
I it got to the point where I was just like yelling, "Shut up!"
Mm-hmm.
Here,
It got to the parts where we just skipped entire
yeah,
scenes
we started skipping entire scenes.
because we
In
didn't care and there was no point.
there he is again. That looks like a scene from Spy Kids,
Look at this
which is
dude.
what quote Isu. Quote Isu. Why does he look like a Spy Kids character?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! What the?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't even. So they decided to make this character and Spike's love interest, estranged love interest,
Yeah.
main characters. They were not main characters in the anime, is
Mm-mm.
what you need to
Mm-mm.
know.
They tried to give him like backstory to make you care about them, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and no, it didn't work.
No, it didn't work. It was we'll get to that. There's an episode about Vicious Spike and Julia backstory.
Yeah.
We made it. Julia? Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you know Julia from fucking yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um we skipped the flashback episode. We made it 2 minutes in and we were like and I started scrolling through it and I was like, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. No, no, no. But back to episode 2. Not much happened in this episode except for the fact that there was a scene with a man holding a mug that just said boss on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so brightly shot. It was so it was so non Cowboy Bebop that it looked like a scene from an insurance commercial, which is something that
Mm-hmm.
somebody pointed that out to me on Twitter when I posted the picture. I was like, holy shit, they're right. It
Yeah.
literally looked like a scene from like a parody, like or like a watch Cowboy Bebop on Netflix now, brought to you by
Mm-hmm.
Progressive, and it's like,
Yeah, honestly, that's what it's like.
oh, oh,
That's what it felt like.
oh, it's making my skin crawl. Oh,
No, there was
God,
so many like people and scenes that felt out of
every,
place.
oh my God, I don't even think Nox and I talked about this, but we should talk about the way people were like dressed and their hair.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like there were just people who just their hair and it looked like they were out of 2021. It looked
Mm-hmm.
like they were out of 2021 pulled out of like a Starbucks.
Yeah. I mean, Bebop, it takes place like in the future, like past 2021.
Yeah.
But like,
Everyone looked like they were just pulled off the fucking street.
yeah.
Like they were extras. Well, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm the main characters. The top build, they looked fine.
Yeah.
But
They're
every
fine.
single fucking extra looked like they were pulled off the goddamn street.
It's like some other like reality show was being filmed right next to them and they're just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you want to be in the show?"
Like a literal sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were pulled off the set of fucking I don't even know. I don't even watch TV anymore. Can't even think of a show.
Whatever funny show is airing on TV at the moment with real
Yeah.
people, real
Oh,
white people.
oh, oh, oh. All
It
right.
just
All you need. That's all you need to know about
yeah.
that episode. Not much fucking happened in that episode. There was a teddy bear guy, and he was wearing a gimp suit, which was weird. And
Oh my god.
there was like it was a weird BDSM thing. And Spike.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I wrote down. Here's what I wrote down for episode 2.
Mhm.
More vicious nonsense. Foreman holding mug that says "boss" looks like shot from insurance commercial. Teddy bear mask suit guy.
Mm.
Funny show. Very funny.
That was a point where we were like, "What?" Because they were in a spaceship, and there was this guy wearing no
No.
clothes,
Oh
but
yeah,
his
he
underwear,
was naked.
and
He was in his underwear and wearing a big teddy bear mask
yep. And they were trying to
and
like
like a
talk.
ball
He was
gag.
like trying to talk to him, and he like his voice was all muffled because of the big teddy bear
And
mask
there was a
head
whole bit
thing.
about them not understanding what he's saying, and it went
It
on
was
for way too long.
way too
Way
long,
too
and we're
long.
like, what? What's the point of this?
What I wrote here is Spike tries to sacrifice himself for Jet despite the fact that this is Cowboy Bebop. That's
Yes.
something that we're going to have to get into at some point. I keep saying that. They they made them a family dynamic.
Yep. They were not even
They
close to
turned
that
these
initial.
characters into a family dynamic. They made them get along.
They
If
were
you've
they
watched Cowboy Bebop, there's one thing you should know about Cowboy Bebop. They don't get along.
no.
None of them. Maybe Spike and Jet.
That's like the best, but like
That's
even
like the best. But
so,
even so, they don't even get along half the time. But they
like you
made
wouldn't
them all get
exactly.
along in the Netflix show.
Yeah.
They're like, they have a birthday for fucking Faye.
Yeah, in the live action show they have
And
a
I'm like,
fucking
oh my
birthday.
god, what am I watching? What am I watching? What is
Anyways,
this? If they shouldn't have even called this Cowboy Bebop. They did it for
honestly,
money reasons, but they shouldn't have.
yeah, that could have been like a whole separate show,
Oh
honestly.
my god.
It
All
was
right.
not Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Episode 3.
This is better than watching the show. Yeah. Yeah.
Glad
It's
you think
also
so.
it's also quicker. Yeah, we wasted. By the way, these episodes, how long were they? Around 45
Oh,
fucking
they were like
minutes?
50 minutes, counting like credits,
Do you
but
know
like,
how long Bebop episodes were? 25.
yeah.
That does,
Granted, there were
they
more,
literally
but
had to stretch these out with Julia and Vicious plot that they made up.
it's so pointless. There's a lot of stuff so pointless.
Oh, oh my god.
They could have condensed every episode into 25 minutes.
We almost fucking wasted and estimated, rounding up, 10 hours of our life except for the episode and a half that we skipped.
Yep.
Episode 3. Oh my god, we haven't talked about Jet!
Oh, and his oh,
Oh,
and
we
his
haven't mentioned
family.
Jet!
Jed and his fucking family.
We haven't talked about Jet! Guys!
They
Guys,
gave
what was...
Jet
Hold on.
a daughter.
They made Jet a deadbeat dad, bro! Yeah!
Yep. Yeah, they sure did. But why?
They gave Jet a daughter! They
I don't
gave...
know why they did this.
Because you know what? You know what a bounty hunter needs when he's going out in space catching bounties? Family drama.
Family drama.
Family drama. The minute he mentioned, he goes, My Little Kimmy. Oh, Spike goes, how old is she now? 5? Jet's like, yeah, 5 years old. I whispered in a hushed tone to Knox. I went, did they give Jet a daughter? Did they give Jet an estranged daughter?
Like I remember that Jet had a wife, I think.
Yes,
But
I think him having a wife was actually a thing in Bebop.
he never mentioned having a
No,
daughter.
no. I
That
should have
was
known right at
not.
that point that was gonna make him a liability. I was like,
I
oh,
know.
that's gonna be an issue. Oh, they gave Jet a daughter. Anyways, in this episode, um, I shit you not,
Mm.
they took the dog episode where they get Ein for the first time,
Yep.
and they combined it with Jet trying to get his daughter a doll for her birthday.
Yeah, that was like the
So
entire
it's Jingle All the Way starring Arnold Schwarzenegger mixed with getting a dog, I guess. In this episode, there is a MILF. This show has an obsession with them, by the way.
The anime didn't.
The anime did not. She has the famous line, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard by now, where Jet goes, "Is this blackmail?" And she goes, "Well, honey, you're black and you're male." Which is now being coined as the most infamous line from this fucking live action.
It's one of the worst fucking jokes I've ever heard.
And legitimately, I missed it because I was writing something, and Knox was like, "Go back! Go
Yeah.
back! I'm like, what? Nox is like, you missed it! I'm like, I missed what?
Well, like I could have just ignored the whole thing. We could have just moved on, but no, that was awful on so many ways. I needed you to see it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay.
Oh yeah, by the way, I wanted to point out, like you said that earlier Spike was like, "Oh, how is Kimmy, by the way?" He didn't give a shit about kids.
Oh yeah, no, Spike hated kids in the anime.
Spike hated
Spike
kids.
hated kids. Spike
And
hated.
he like
No, no, no.
cared for that
Oh,
bitch.
Nox. Do you
Yeah.
remember the line? The famous line at the end of Ed's first episode? Spike goes,
Um,
Jet, what are the 3 things I hate the most? Dogs, women,
yes.
and children.
Mhm.
Why are all 3 of them on this ship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Kids, animals, and women. Spike in the anime is fucking great. They're all great in the anime. We can't talk about the anime. We'll just make ourselves sad.
Like I rewatched like a couple episodes, and just watching the opening was like, oh, like
If you've never
such a
watched
breath of fresh air.
if you've never watched Bebop, this is our glowing review. Don't watch this. Watch the
Good
anime.
God, don't watch this.
Watch
Watch
the
the
anime.
anime.
The anime's great. This didn't need to be made.
It
This
really did.
episode had full fucking nudity, by the way. We haven't talked about
Yup.
that. We haven't talked
Mhm.
about that.
And
There was this
multiple
whole
scenes.
subplot with the Syndicate and Vicious making drugs from the first episode, which wasn't even part of the anime. Um, and the people making the drugs, because it's an eye drug, they had their eyes sewn closed, which was
Yep.
a weird thing. But on
Mhm.
top of it all, they were naked.
Yeah, they were full on nude, and they showed it. It was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I didn't
something.
have words then, and I still don't have
We
them.
haven't talked about this, but there's nudity in this, and there's also hard swears.
And the thing is, in that scene where they were making the drug and they were all nude, they were all shot to death.
Yeah, they took Vicious and his goons took out guns and just shot them all to death. And Nox and I, this was a scene that went on for maybe 30 seconds. And Nox and I were like, what?
I'm like, uh-huh.
There's so much of this show where we're like, what? Huh?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
It wasn't the only thing. They had like posters and all of these full-on booby shots of women.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Th-
oh, this
there's
is
a
an adult show.
there's a lot of swearing in this. Faye swears like a sailor, and there's some questionable
Yeah.
dialogue from Faye in the first place. Some of her, I gotta say, I really liked her actress. This is
Yeah,
not.
her actress
this
is great.
This is not the role for her.
No.
Is the problem? It's not her fault. I think she's
No.
playing what they gave them very well. It's just this is not Faye.
It's not Faye.
It's not
how
any of
she's
them.
portrayed.
These are all like bizarro world versions of like the characters we know and love. It's weird.
It's like the dude who wrote this, it was like how he remembered the characters to be
Yeah.
after a decade. And he's like, no, I got it.
Yeah, it's like
I
the
got it.
people in charge of writing either hadn't seen it or were given a vague idea or they watched it like 15 years ago.
Do you want to mention how many executive producers are
Oh
worked
my
on this
god,
show?
we haven't even talked about that.
There were
This
like
show has
more
like
than
10 executive producers.
There were more than 10, I think.
I could have been on the fucking credits as an executive producer.
I know, they listed them in the opening every time.
Every
too.
time they were in the opening, and there were so many names. It was bad. Oh my god. The amount of times Faye calls people dickbags in the show is absurd. Something I never thought I'd ever hear them say in the Bebop show.
There are 14 executive
14
producers.
executive producers! I don't think executive producers actually do anything. What?
I don't know. I couldn't tell
Producers
you.
barely do anything. Wow.
That's like more like more than they need like each episode.
Yeah.
It's more than the executive producers throughout
Oh my
episodes.
god. Yeah, no, Faye's dialogue was like inhuman. I made this point, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure none of you are gonna get it. I know Nox didn't really get it, but none of you are probably gonna get it. She talks like D from Always Sunny, in
Well, I've
which
seen a select few episodes of
D
Sunny.
just like enters the room and she's like, "What's up, dick nuts?" And it's like,
Mhm.
yeah,
It's basically
that's D. That's Always Sunny.
yeah,
It's
it's always Sunny is goofs
Always
and
Sunny is
you
funny.
know.
It's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. It's not. It's not Cowboy Bebop.
Mm-mm. Cowboy Bebop is not a funny show.
No, it's not supposed to be.
They
This one definitely isn't.
it's
Bebop was
they tried,
the
but
anime made me laugh, but not from like jokes that the characters made, just from like shit that was going on.
mm-hmm.
The like weird, like clever, quirky shit that happened in Bebop made me laugh, not the
Yes.
dialogue.
No.
Whatever. Um, so it's worth mentioning that in this episode, apparently this is the episode where John Cho, who plays Spike, hurt his knee.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the rooftop scene. That's what I've heard. Which delayed the show by a year. Which I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the fact that this show's so bad. I highly doubt it, since it gave them a year longer to work on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened. John
I
Cho, by
think
the way, who plays
yeah.
Spike, we didn't talk about this. He's
Hmm.
50 years old.
Yeah, he's 49.
He looks really good.
He looks like he's in his
Yeah,
30s.
he looks like he's in his 30s. John Cho's like 49 years old. I went,
He's
yeah. I was very
great
surprised
looking
to hear
man.
that. If you look up pictures of Spike from the show, yeah, no, John
Yeah,
Cho is
yeah.
49.
Yup.
I was very surprised. I was like, holy shit, this dude
He
looks
looks
good.
really good. There was a show. There was a scene without it. He had no shirt on, and oh my
I
god,
know, the dude was like ripped. I was like, whoa. Um, I think the characters look good too.
didn't didn't he say like he was afraid he was too sexy for the
Yes,
show?
John Cho had an interview right before Bebop came out that said he was afraid he was too sexy to play Spike.
And, like he looks good. Like
He does look
as
good.
as bad as the show is, he looks great.
I think the casting's okay. I think they look okay.
Yes.
Um, I think Ed looks bad. We'll get into that.
We'll get into
We'll get
that.
into that. We'll get into the Ed talk. Don't worry, guys.
Ed
It's
doesn't show
coming.
up until the end.
Oh,
Don't
they are.
worry.
Oh, believe me. I'm sure everyone in this chat knows what Ed looks like from this show. It was everywhere.
I somehow missed
I'm
it.
surprised you didn't see it. Honest to God, it was all over my TL. White Ed
Surprised,
shudders.
'cause Jesus. Okay, okay. Well, anyways.
Okay. There's a sign on the roof that says porn.
Yeah, when they were on the roof, it just
They're on the roof, and there's a sign that literally just says porn, and it made us laugh so
straight
hard.
ahead. You can't miss
right in the
it. It's
right in the
there,
center
it's
of the
just
screen, it just
porn.
says porn, and it's very funny.
Like why?
Yeah, not much happened in this episode.
It really
There was a
didn't. It was just a
BDSM
doll
lady
hunt.
and funny,
There's
haha.
beauty, some lady. Iron
Whatever.
appeared. There's a Shaggy.
Yeah, the guy who steals the dogs kind of reminded me of Shaggy from
From live action Scooby Doo.
which is not the last time we'll mention the live action Scooby Doo movie during this review. Alright, we need to get moving.
Yeah,
We need to get moving. We're on at episode 3.
Mm.
Okay. Episode 4. Oh no.
Well, what was that one?
This is when I first started taking notes.
Yes.
This is the gas mask tree episode.
Oh,
Rolf made a
God,
funny meme about this earlier.
the one that was supposed to be monkeys.
Yeah. So in the anime, there were these eco-terrorists that would go around to rich people, and if I'm remembering correctly, they'd take them hostage, and they were going to use a virus to turn everyone into monkeys. You're only on episode 4. Yes, we're getting there though. Don't worry, we skipped a couple.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So instead of monkeys, for some reason, the gas turns them into like a tree
Yeah, it's like
in
some
this
Silent
really
Hill shit.
weird, bizarre, like Silent Hill body horror scene. It was a little gross,
A little
but at
gruesome,
the
yeah.
same time, it made me laugh because I hate this show. Um, I'm the sicko that made everyone turn into trees. Um,
Yeah, I don't know what the choice of that was. I don't know if
I
they
don't
didn't
know. I don't.
want to bother like CGI monkeys
I
or
That's what I was
getting
wondering. I
monkeys.
was wondering if they were like, let's just do monkeys. Monkeys are too hard to animate.
I They could do entire spaceships, but not monkeys.
Monkeys is people, Knox. Monkeys is people.
Monkeys is people.
That's hard to
You know
animate.
what?
Monkeys is
Basing on
people.
that one scene later with the shadows,
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh God. Yeah. Um. Okay. Faye comes back in this episode, by the way. Faye
Hmm.
wasn't in the last two. Faye is finally here and here for good. Um. In
Yay.
this episode, we are reintroduced to Faye when she threatens to quote. I put in quotes. Shoot a man's dick off.
Yep. Yep. That's sure shit that she says.
And then after the tree gas, Faye screams balls.
Yep.
And then I have a quote from you here, which you'll be interested to hear, Knox, I'm sure. This is a very funny quote. It says, Knox, they're just saying words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's just scenes that were just
It's
filled with
just
like
scenes
dialogue
that
that
are
I just
fucking
didn't
happening. They
understand. Nothing
never
was
shut.
happening.
It's worth mentioning, they never shut up.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
There are
Like,
no like quiet
they're just
scenes.
constantly talking. Bebop
Like you
had, like, quiet
Yeah, you know
scenes.
how Bebop had like full like scenic entire like minutes of just looking
Yeah.
at scenery and people like
Nobody ever
walking, and
shuts up in this fucking
there was
show.
none of that.
They just felt like they needed to fill the dead air.
Yeah,
It's
they were
just
like, "This is too quiet.
noise.
We need talking."
People need to. Faye needs to say balls a lot.
Yeah, that's funny, and that's funny.
This is. It's funny. I have Spike and Jet talk at length about bidets and ass cleaning.
Oh my
By
god, that's
now,
this
you may have
episode.
already seen this scene, guys. But
Hmm.
yeah, there have been people who added like Seinfeld music and laugh tracks to the scene because it is just so un-bebop.
I
They're
love a
lit.
good bidet that can clean my ass.
Yeah.
Somebody made that
That's
edit.
right. Somebody did make that edit.
Let me find it.
But it's just, oh my god, it went on for so long. They're at a diner table and they're just talking about bidets. And he's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna get a Jet's like, I'm gonna get a bidet on the Bebop. I'm gonna get two
For
bidets on the Bebop.
minutes.
And for minutes. And then Faye just shows up and she's like, what's up, dick balls? And we're like, what?
Like, what?
Faye just finds them. Faye just finds people in this show, by the way. Remember how she found them in the last episode and you were like, maybe they'll explain it? They never explained that, did they? Oh, you found it?
I love the kind of bidet that can clean my ass.
I just noticed that that person's icon is meat.
Yes. Oh my god, the next literal like picture of that thread is Ed. I didn't even see
Yes,
that.
that's okay. No joke. I was worried you were going to scroll down and see it when I sent you
Oh
that, and
my
I'm so
god.
glad you didn't.
I don't think I clicked into the thread,
That
that's
is
why.
great.
Oh my god.
All
Jesus.
right, here's the image for anyone who wants to know. I love the kind of bidet that can clean my ass. That's another scene from the movie, by the way. Not that line, but all right. Jesus Christ. I have in all caps Vicious looks like Lucius Malfoy because I think this is around the point where we realized it.
Yeah.
Knox and I, at the same time, this is so funny. At the same time, Knox and I were thinking, we were making fun of Vicious the whole time, but at the same time, both of us had it in the back of our heads. We were like, Who does this guy look like?
Yeah, I think there was probably like a certain angle he was shot at that we were like, that looks like
I
Lucius.
know, and I was just like, he looks like Lucius Malfoy. And Knox is like, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I hate it.
Uh-huh.
Um, I have
Oh my god.
Ein piss joke written down.
Oh yeah, he pissed on one of the trees.
Oh, he pissed on a tree.
Pissed on one of the tree
Can you
people.
pause your discussion? Oh yeah, sure.
Sure, I'll do
I
that.
also have written, we're sick of the Julia and Vicious scenes. Well, I'm sorry,
Hmm.
Ryan and Knox. Those continue.
Unfortunately.
My final notes for this episode, and possibly one of the most bizarre and confusing scenes in the entire show. Knox, you
Mhm.
probably remember what I have written here.
Oh yeah.
I have written with a question mark. Come?
I don't even know, man.
So,
The trees? The people
so
reached in and touched the trees and
it was
they
specifically Faye.
it was specifically Faye at first.
Faye was looking to pickpocket one of the guys that got turned into a tree. And Faye sticks her hand into the tree. And her hand comes out. And it's covered in what can only be described as cum.
Yeah.
And she
It
just
was
goes, ugh, and like shakes her
yeah.
hand. And that's the end of that.
And we were just left there sitting there
There
like,
is there is no explanation as to what that was.
no. Like they could have been
So
just like, oh, it's sap because they're trees,
it's
but
ectoplasm. Nope. Nope.
no.
So we're left to our imagination to believe that that is 100% just cum.
So that's why there were question marks next to it in Ryan's notes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, all
Yeah,
right,
that certainly was a scene.
yeah.
Okay. I think
I
that's
I also like added I had a thread as well that I added to, and at one point you said a Cowboy Bebop live action, but I cut out all of the dialogue.
I think that's a good idea. I think this show, by the way, guys, I think this show could be salvageable if you cut out a lot of the like weird
Maybe.
visual choices and all of the dialogue. I think maybe you could salvage this
Hmm.
if you just turn it into
Maybe
like a visual thing and not like no dialogue. Absolutely none.
because visually it was pretty good. Some of the camera angles were like a little much.
Maybe if you put it into black and white. Now we're getting like avant-garde with it.
Like sepia.
Yeah, if you put it into like sepia tone and like add a little bit of grain to it, this might be salvageable. Who knows?
Mm,
Who the fuck knows? Um, is that about it for episode 4?
I guess.
Get David Lynch on the phone. He loves that shit. Black and white, no dialogue. He could have done. David Lynch is the master of somebody with no dialogue. Holy shit. There were like Twin Peaks episodes
Mm.
that would have like 20 minutes of no fucking talking at all.
The horse. I just remember the horse.
The what?
The horse.
See, David
Oh my
Lynch could get a horse in his show, but the Cowboy Bebop people could not. And that was on CBS, for
Yeah.
God's sakes. Okay. Um,
Oh yeah, I also at one point I was it was 4 p.m. and I was falling asleep because there was nothing goddamn happening in this show. It was so boring.
is this episode 5?
That was episode 4.
Oh, shit. Okay. Because we got to talk about episode 5 here. And what
Yeah,
we ended up doing for episode 5. Sorry,
yeah,
Jet. Sorry, Jet. Sorry they did this to you.
yeah.
Um,
They might have been like the start of episode
it's
5. I don't know. I didn't
it's
mark it, but
we made it halfway through this episode before I started skipping large chunks, and I was like, I don't think anything happens because we
yeah.
call I don't know if you called, but like I called the ending of this episode like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember if this one was actually an episode of the anime, but either way, it wasn't good.
Mm-mm.
This was one of the worst of the season, guys. We made it halfway through. Here are my notes. Who shot Jet? Who know? Who care? They turned Jet into boring. Ein is the best character on the show.
Yeah.
Why are Spike and Faye bonding? And we skipped most of this one. Those are my only notes for this episode.
Oh my god. Yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't
we
even
should
tell you what
talk.
happened in that
This is
episode.
when the bonding started happening. Spike and
Unfortunately.
Faye started like having fun and like hanging out and like talking,
Hmm.
and we're just like, oh no.
Yeah, we were
We
afraid they were
we
going to
were
be like a
oh
thing.
we were completely convinced that they were gonna cut to a scene with them in bed naked, like
Yeah.
after coitus. That's next episode. We'll get to that. It's
Yeah, we'll
not
get
with
to that.
Spike, but we'll get to that. It's
Yeah.
probably something you guys have heard of. Um, yeah, nothing. Like, this episode was shit.
Yeah.
It was all Jet backstory for a Jet that we do not care about.
Hmm.
Just like a weird, bizarro Jet.
Mm.
Okay. Are you ready to talk about episode 6? Quite possibly the best episode of this season.
Yes.
Which is wild because I'm looking at the episode guide on IMDb. This
Mhm.
is one of the lowest of the season.
Wow.
I think personally this is like probably the best episode of the season,
Yeah, I thought
which
it
isn't
was
saying
great,
much.
the direction
It
they
was
went.
okay,
I
but
can understand why, because like they kind of went out there with a couple things, but
yeah,
was that
I
episode
have a
7?
feeling that maybe the review bombing is because of what happens to Faye in this episode,
It could be
which we thought was probably the best part of the season.
the best part of Faye's character
The
that they've
best
done
part of
with.
Faye's character. My notes here. So this episode is actually based off a Bebop episode, which I didn't think it was at first. This episode is based off a late episode called Brain Scratch.
Mhm.
Essentially, Spike gets trapped inside a VR headset for the whole episode.
Yeah, I meant to go back to that one and rewatch, but I forgot.
Yeah, and Jet has to get him out of it. And that's basically Jet has hired a mechanic to work on the Bebop. My first note for this episode is Knox and I saw a woman with short hair talking to Jet, and we thought it was Faye for like 3 minutes.
That's right.
We thought the mechanic, because the mechanic was a woman, we thought it was Faye.
And she was talking to Jet, so we're like,
And then Faye showed up, and we were like, what? Huh?
wait, there are two of them.
There's two. Now there are two of them. But yeah. And then I wrote, who wrote this piece of shit?
I have a note that says, "Who took this photo?"
Oh my
Add
god!
that.
Oh my god! I didn't even write that down.
Oh my god!
That had
no.
me laughing so hard I didn't even write it down.
There's a photo with Vicious and Julia, right? And there
No,
was
it's
just
Spike and Julia. It's Spike and
like,
Julia.
like a shot
Oh
of them
my god.
together, looking at each other. But like, who took that?
Who took the
photo?
picture?
We
Who took-
only saw
I need to
scenes
find
of
this
like them
picture. I took a
together
screenshot.
alone.
I took a screenshot. Hold on.
Okay, good.
Where is this? There it is. There it is. I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because the scenes that happen with them together, there's no one else in the picture. So like, we don't know.
It's like it's like clearly a scene from the episode. There's no reflection on it. So I think it's superimposed over the
Or was it Spike? Was
Yeah,
it
that's-
Spike and Julia?
That's Spike and Julia, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I think I
who took
Vicious,
that
but-
picture?
Who took that
Who
photo?
took that? Who took the photo of the scene from the episode? And then it's like superimposed over it.
No. Like, what? What's
I
the
love
thought
it.
behind that?
I love it. I love it.
Like, did Vicious take the photo?
He's like, I knew they were fucking. I knew it.
It's right on them. So, like, when the flash happens, they're just like, Vicious, what the fuck?
He's like an inch away from them.
Anyway.
So some shit happens. Spike gets stuck in the VR zone. We should point out that the mechanic lady. Let's get into this next. The mechanic lady
Mm-hmm.
starts hitting on Faye.
Yeah. Like she was
which
clearly gay.
we were like, oh, okay. That's. I wonder if Faye's gonna be. So I wrote down Faye homophobic.
Yeah, because we're
I
like,
wrote down,
okay,
is Faye gonna be homophobic?
like Faye probably won't like reciprocate feelings. She'll just like walk away, be like, no homo.
A
But
few
the
scenes later, it
a few
cuts to a
scenes
scene in the
later,
bed. We are led to believe that it will be Spike and a VR hallucination of Julia.
yeah, it did the pan up shot from like the legs up, and we're like, oh boy,
It is not. It is Faye and the women mechanic
literally.
post coitus talking
Yep,
about the orgasm she just gave her.
very much so. We were losing. We lost our minds. Like, okay, Faye gay, I guess.
Quite possibly the best. Quite possibly the best scene in the entire show.
Mhm.
That was one that completely threw us for a loop. We did not see that one coming at all. And you know what? That's probably going to go down as probably one of the most hated scenes of this show too.
Yeah.
Cuz you know weebs hate that shit.
Mm.
They want the booba woman to get with the strong man.
Well, certain weebs will not like it. Certain weebs will be,
Oh
oh
yeah,
man,
certain weaves are gonna love it, but in a weird way.
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
but the small corner of LGBT fans are gonna be like,
yes.
"Oh, good for Faye."
Be like,
That
fuck
blew
you.
us. That blew us away.
Yeah, we're
We
like, all
were like,
right, and
"Whoa!"
and they kept going with it.
Uh huh. Yeah. At the end of the episode, I think they have sex again,
I
and she's
think
like, "Call
so.
me," and I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was something. That was probably the best they did this season.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
literally thought like, oh, maybe they got like another writer to write this, and he just saw everything and wanted to make everything better.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it was pretty decent
It
episode.
was a pretty decent episode. I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And
I mean, there's not much to say about it other than the fact that it's okay.
oh yeah, this Faye at one point talked in length about whether she was a butt girl or a boob
Oh, that's
girl.
the next episode. That's the
Was
beginning of the
it?
next episode. Yeah.
Oh, good. Again, they keep going with it.
Faye literally. Okay, That's it for episode 6. I
Yeah.
literally, my last note, it's a bunch of me screaming about how Faye is gay. And then I wrote, this episode was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay. Um, Episode 7. My first note here is Faye's sexuality is a mystery. Um, Shown by the fact that the episode starts off with a scene about Faye talking about whether or not she's a boob girl or a butt girl, and she's like, "I'm
Yeah.
definitely a boob girl," and
Yeah.
then we're like, "What? Okay, I guess that wasn't like a one-off thing, huh?"
Yeah, I know. I'm glad for that.
Uh, I think they're implying that Faye is probably open to everyone. I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
think
fine with
she's
that.
probably not a lesbian, but yeah, no, I mean, yeah, good. I mean,
Yeah.
Faye's first romance scene in the entire show was with a woman, so
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Good on her.
good for her. All right, let's talk about Faye's MILF mom.
One of my notes I have from Ryan is him saying, "Hold on, I have to write that spikes into milfs."
My note is spikes into Faye's MILF mom.
Oh, her mom. Oh my
Uh,
god.
it's the ambiguously queer shit Netflix. No, this one wasn't even ambiguous though.
Mm-mm.
No, this one was for realsies. I mean,
Yes.
she might be into men too. I don't know, but like, nah.
She's clearly into
No, she
women.
was clearly into women. No, I was kind of surprised by how blunt they were about it.
I know.
Pleasantly surprised. Usually they
Yeah,
like to tiptoe around that shit.
yeah, they had the post-coitus scene. They had a few kisses.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good.
It was good.
We keep talking about that scene because it's like one of the only good scenes in the entire show.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Spikes into Faye's MILF mom. They introduce Faye's quote unquote mom, who's not really her mom. Faye, part of the Bebop lore is that Faye was cryogenically frozen in the past, way in the past, because she had an illness. I can't remember what the illness was. I'm assuming they found a cure for it.
Yeah.
But when she wakes up, she was cryogenically frozen for way too long. After like the gate explosion and shit. And when they unfroze her, her memory is just completely gone. That's part of Bebop lore. So they incorporated that in here with there's this woman who Faye is pretending is her mom. Blah blah blah. Who the fuck cares? She's 259 years old. Yeah, Faye.
Mm.
Yeah, Faye's old. So whatever. The mom character, whatever. She's a MILF. That's the joke.
Yeah.
They try to incorporate Julia lore with new characters, and we skipped all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried introducing new characters to the show to, like, talk with Julia and Vicious. But the problem is we don't give a shit about any of them. So we just started skipping those parts, and
Yeah.
we didn't miss fucking anything.
No. The show did not need
No,
any.
it didn't change the course of anything whatsoever.
It didn't need all of that lore,
No, absolutely not.
that added lore.
No. It was just to pad the time
Yeah.
to like an hour, which we didn't need.
Which they didn't need at all.
Now, important point to make about this episode
Mm-hmm.
is that there is somebody chasing down Faye's MILF mom for no reason. We don't know why. It turns out it's for a sex role play. That's not a joke.
Yep.
It turns out it's like a sexy MILF role play.
Yeah.
The person who is chasing down Faye's MILF mom is the lead singer from All American Rejects.
No joke.
Doing a Russian accent. Not a joke.
Not a joke.
Not a
I
joke.
looked him up. I thought he looked familiar. Not necessarily from that band, but that is certainly what he is, who he is,
Yeah.
and what he is from.
Not a joke. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
So that sure was in this episode. Yeah, All American Rejects. He was doing a Russian accent, and he got to make out with Faye's MILF mom. How did he get there? Yeah, I don't know. It's a great question.
I have no idea.
I have written down vaginal puns.
Tyson Ritter, I believe that's his name.
Yeah, Tyson Ritter.
Yeah.
I've written down vaginal puns. I've written down sexual harassment joke. Those happen within like 2 seconds of each other.
Yeah.
There's this scene that goes on for way too long that's like just a comedy shot of Faye like, I gotta get him to park his bus in my vacation home, if you know what I mean.
God, that's right.
And then the guy's like, all right, move along. And the mom's like, oh, he touched me on the boob.
Yeah.
Sexual harassment. And we're like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. This show is just a barrel of laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting a single chuckle out of either of us. We're just like, is this fucking over yet? Jet does a funny dance. Yeah, Jet goes to his retcon daughter's dance.
Hi, Sue.
Solar
We're
plant.
like on episode
We're on
7.
episode 7. Jet's retcon daughter does like a fucking space thing, and Jet walks in.
She's like in a play, and Jet like puts out on his like hologram self into the audience.
Yeah, they retcon some technology into this that's fucking
Right, we didn't talk
weird.
about that.
Yeah, there's this weird. They use it a lot this season. But it's this weird device that it's like Star Wars, but it lets you project yourself holographically into other areas and make it look like you're really there.
Yeah.
And that was not part of Bebop. I don't know where they got that idea, but
I don't know.
that was not a Bebop thing, I don't think.
You could also make yourself look like other people.
Yeah, that was a Bebop thing.
It was okay.
That was
like,
actually
it was like the same kind of. It looked like the same kind of like shit.
That was actually
the
in the
filter.
dog episode. Yeah, it did look like the same filter. Star Trek, probably. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of a Star Trek thing. Um, sorry, sorry.
Yeah.
This note from me made me laugh. The lead singer of All American Rejects just started fucking Faye's MILF mom.
Yeah. It sure happened.
We didn't even.
Six.
We did not talk about the spaceships yet.
No, we
No,
didn't.
we haven't.
I was gonna cover that earlier, but I thought we'd
Um,
wait.
Spike. All right. They use a big part of the anime was the dogfighting scenes. There
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of them, and they all fucking slapped.
Yeah.
They were
2D
they were
animated.
so fucking good.
Hand animated.
They were so good.
So good.
I'm
A
gonna
lot of
say,
them.
I'm gonna say, there was probably about less than 5 minutes of that in this show.
Probably.
Um, I'm gonna say, in fact, I'm gonna say less than maybe 25% of the show was fighting at all.
Yeah,
Most
honestly.
of it was forced comedy and bad dialogue.
I remember one space scene, but it was in like
Episode one.
episode eight.
Oh,
No, it
I
was like
remember
one of
one
the
from
later
episode
ones.
one. But it's I forgot to mention
Oh
that
yeah, that one too.
Spike has the swordfish, which is his ship,
Yes.
and they fly around in the Bebop, which is their big carrier ship. Jet is supposed to have a ship. Jet does not have a ship in this. Jet has a bike.
He has a bike.
Jet has one of those three-wheeled motorcycles with the two wheels in the front and the one wheel in the back, which is a weird choice. I get that they probably wanted to cut down a budget, and they didn't want to pay to animate Jet's ship every time he went somewhere. But Jet has a fucking motorcycle. Fine. Faye, on the other hand, did not get her iconic ship until episode 7, the end of episode 7.
Yeah, she had some other weird
She had
ship
some
that
other
they
weird
made
ship that
up.
got blown up in like episode 3.
Yeah,
And then
it
she did,
wasn't good.
no. No, it looked like a ship from the Avengers. No joke. It looked like a
Yeah,
ship that would get blown up from the Avengers. So that was pretty shitty.
how often did Jet even use that bike? I only
Couple
remember him using it
episodes?
that once.
I think he used it a couple episodes.
I just remember him in that car. I
The
mean,
old car from the shitty episode we skipped?
yes. Was that even his?
No,
Probably.
no, that was his partner's. We
It
skipped that
was
episode,
okay.
guys. It was
Yes.
shitty. Um, another thing to mention before we finish up episode 7 here is that it ended with they basically took my favorite episode of Bebop, one of my favorites, maybe second favorite episode, and cut it all and just put it into the end of this episode
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the tape.
with the VHS tape and Faye getting a little bit of a glimpse at who she was in the past before she lost her memory. They cut that whole fucking episode and just put the ending of that episode at the end of this one. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, fuck off." I was so mad. I
They
love
got
that
the part
episode.
with like the tape part right, but the whole
And,
episode was
oh,
just
by the way, I remembered, Knox.
huh?
It wasn't a VHS tape in the anime.
It wasn't?
No, it was a Betamax tape. So they couldn't even fucking get that right.
Oh my
Yep,
goodness.
I remembered it's a Betamax tape in the
Oh
anime.
wow.
Couldn't even get that right.
Oh, and speaking of the actual like tape, that looked very HD.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I gotta say the footage from the VHS tape, it was okay. It was kind of one-to-one to the anime, which I appreciated. But oh my god, did it not look like footage from a VHS tape?
It didn't even have like a date on it.
Nope. It was clearly footage they took from HD cameras and just added a shitty filter onto. It was really bad.
Yeah, it wasn't even much of a filter.
All right. 3 more episodes, and by 3 more episodes I mean 2 more episodes. We'll get into that. Don't worry, guys. Um, episode 8. These are the episodes that we watched today.
Yep.
This episode featured one of the weirdest and like creepiest villains from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Which is the clown, the flying clown guy. I can't remember his name.
Piero.
Piero? Yeah.
Piero.
Piero. And he was a creepy fucking clown. And it was a creepy villain.
Mm-hmm.
Not creepy in this. Is the zombie from the trailer? I guess you could call him a zombie. He's supposed to be a clown.
I don't even remember zombie.
He's supposed to be a clown, if that's what you're thinking of.
Yeah. He's
Um.
supposed to be a clown.
All right. Here are my notes. I have a lot of notes for this one.
Oh boy.
Episode 8, clown episode.
Mm-hmm.
My first note is, why is Vicious behind everything? We should talk about that a little bit. In addition to Vicious not being in barely any of the episodes in the anime, he also didn't really have much to do with anything that was happening.
He didn't really do anything.
But for some fucking reason, they felt the need to have Vicious be behind every driving force of every enemy in this goddamn show. Like, if there's an enemy, Vicious released him. If there's a drug, Vicious made it. It's like, what? I'm confused.
Like,
why? Why is this Lucius Malfoy looking motherfucker doing this? I don't understand it.
These are just like individual like bounties. Like
that they turned into like this big conspiracy with Vicious.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Why are they trying to retcon the Bebop crew being a family? Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
What is this? Oh God. Yeah, I guess he does kind of look like a zombie in that picture. That's a good point. I didn't even catch that. He does kind of look like a zombie in that picture.
Yeah. That's not.
Here's another great quote from Nox I have written down here.
Oh boy.
Ryan, make it stop.
What point was that? I don't even remember.
That could have been any of it. That could have been any of it. This is the episode where the Bebop crew, the first time you see them, they've started a bowling league. I shit you not.
That's right.
They have started a bowling league. They've started a bowling league. And they're getting along. And this is when they take up the birthday cake and they start singing happy birthday to Faye. And I'm like, you don't like each other. Stop. It made my skin crawl. I was like, this is gross. Stop it.
Faye bowled like a fucking 7-year-old.
Yeah, Faye, like, there were some shots in this show, like, minute, like, moments that kind of made me laugh. And that kind of made me laugh. Is that Faye did, like, an under the legs sweeping bowl.
Two-handed.
Two-handed, like, under the legs, just kind of threw the ball. That kind of made me laugh.
It went right into the
right into the gutter. Right into the gutter. Clock had 15 hours.
Oh, yeah.
That was something we never really looked into, but...
There was no point to showing it, but there was, like, a weird clock in one shot that had a 15-hour mark on it. Why?
There was a clock that had 15 hours on it, and Nox and I were like, what? Because we didn't think they ever established time in Cowboy Bebop, but, like, I don't know. I mean, whatever, man. Maybe time's different on Mars. Who the fuck knows?
Oh, kind of speaking of that, not, like, related to live action, I went to rewatch a couple episodes, right? And I think... This doesn't have to do anything with anything. But
no, make this expressed. You did not go back and rewatch episodes of this.
No, not of the live action, right? Of the anime.
Yes.
I went to rewatch a couple episodes of the anime to see like how some of them compared. The clown was one of them. But after the clown one, I went on a little bit to watch that one, and there was a gravestone of some guy Jet was looking for, and it said his birth year was 2021.
Oh my god!
I was like, whoa!
Holy shit!
So that guy could be.
We're catching up to the Bebop timeline real quick.
He died in like 2070 something, I
Holy
think. I don't know.
shit.
But
Holy
yeah, I
shit.
thought that was funny.
Wow. We're getting to the Back to the Future zone where like 2015 came around and now you watch that movie and it's funny.
God.
All right. I'm sad that I don't have a shot of this,
Hmm.
but there is a CGI fight in the shadows.
Oh, yes.
I've written this down. I guess they didn't feel like animating it, but there's like a 5-second scene where with Spike getting the shit beat out of him and
Well, he
shot right
gets
into the
like,
sky,
yeah, he gets like lifted up and just like shot all like
and it's
far away.
all done from the shadow on a
Ah,
shadow of them on a building, and
and
it
it's
looks
so bad.
horrible. It looks like Spy Kids.
Yeah, it was so bad.
It's so bad. I wish I had a shot of this, but I don't. Oh, it's so bad.
It looked like he was just like a dummy, like being flopped around.
This is
It
I.
didn't. It was
It's
bad.
bad. My notes started getting a little bit more sassy at this point.
That scene was
Cause
only like 2 seconds, by the way.
okay, all right, fair enough.
But still.
Um, my notes started getting sassy at this point.
Oh yeah.
Here's one. Much to the displeasure of 75% of the viewer base, this show features horny milfs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Woodcock, the one who had the line about being black and male, in like episode 2, comes back in this episode for no reason.
Yeah.
For no
I just
fucking
like
reason. I don't even
had
remember why
noticed
she's
her.
there. I do not remember why she's there.
He just pointed her out like, oh right, look, it's the black and male.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, that is her. I don't know. I don't know. Here's my next note. Are you ready for this?
Uh,
15 minutes in, we have started talking about Kamen Rider Zero One.
oh yeah, that's Majira, right?
Maybe that's why I don't remember what Woodcock said. We
No,
started
yeah.
talking about Metsuba Jinrai. Oops. Oops.
Sometimes when we like just talk like on a tangent about things, we pause the episode, but we didn't even bother.
Yeah, we started just not pausing the episodes while we were talking. But we did just start talking about Metsuba Jinrai at some point. Okay. This is one of there are like 3 things that I thought was cool about the show, and this is one of them. Is that in this episode, one of the things they never really showed in the anime is that Ein, their corgi, is a data dog. And he came from a lab, and he's supposed to be super smart, and they never really go into that very much in the anime.
Yeah, we didn't
Um,
talk a lot about Ein in this show either,
but
but
the
he didn't really
clown
do.
guy, like, fucking hacks into him in this.
Yeah,
And uses his eyes as a projector, which I thought was kind of cool.
like in the anime, he kind of just like he kind of drives a car. He kind of talks to animals.
That's right, he talks to the cow in the Mushroom
Yeah,
Samba episode.
like I remember that a little earlier, but yeah,
But yeah, nice. He's like able to control Ein in this. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
yeah, that
Because
was
the
pretty
data
cool.
dog shit always felt underused in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
I
all
didn't
right,
really do like much else in
yeah.
the live action show, but
There's
that
there's
part was
there's
that
a
was neat.
there's a few there's like 3 things, and I'll talk about a couple of the others at the end. But it's worth mentioning that we are still skipping all Vicious and Julia scenes because they are boring and white.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they happened in every episode.
there are. We've talked about this to death, but there are Vicious and Julia scenes in every episode. Every
We just
episode,
skip over them because they're
probably a good
point.
at least 25% of every episode is Julia and Vicious, or just
Yeah,
Julia.
but
And
they are entirely pointless
they are
and have no
boring
substance.
and awful, and obviously, clearly just filler.
Yeah,
What was the point of Ein in the anime? Is that the viewer doesn't really know if the data dog bit is true, and he might just be a dog. Yeah, that's true. But like,
maybe he was very smart though.
he was very smart.
He was a smart puppy.
He's a smart pup. Ryan makes a joke about Vicious's dad. Oh no! Oh no! All right. So we started paying attention to the Vicious and Julia subplot a little bit, and I was able to piece together in 2 minutes what
because
was happening.
because there was an action scene where he actually did something.
Yes. Okay. So the syndicate in this, I don't know if it was in the anime, but the syndicate in this, Vicious is just a small player, and there's this like league, and they're all like conspiring to kill Vicious, and of course Vicious like gets the jump on all of them, and he like starts murdering the entire like higher ups of the syndicate. It's a pretty cool fight scene. Some of the fight scenes in this are kind of okay.
Yeah, we thought Vicious was gonna like die.
Yeah, we thought Vicious was gonna die, which is why we were watching it because we thought it'd be funny. But he does not die.
He had pretended to be one of those guys, and like some other.
Yeah, he pretended he like used a face changer on another guy.
Yeah.
It was fucking stupid. Like the rest of the show.
Yes.
So there's one syndicate higher up left. Now I really want to watch original Bebop. We should do that, Issa. We should do that.
Yes, we should.
One guy left. Takes off his mask. It's an older white guy with white hair. And I go, my son, I trained you for this. Strike me down. I'm making jokes like that. Turns out, it's actually Vicious's dad. I could have written this fucking show. And he goes, boy, you did it, or should I call you son? And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, for fuck's sake.
What was that scene that you thought he looked like from Star Wars? Oh, now there are two of them.
They're wearing, like, masks that look vaguely racist. They're, like, Asian masks.
Yeah.
It's weird. But they look like the vaguely racist, like, alien guys from the beginning of Phantom Menace. From the robot guys, the guys, this is getting out of hand, now there are two of them. And I was like, holy shit, they look just like that.
They looked exactly
like that. Just vague racism, and just now there are two of them.
Now there are two of them.
I want to point out the rest of this episode was just a fight scene, heavy quotes, between Spike and the clown. By the way, the clown still exists in this episode.
Right, we're still on the clown.
When I say fight scene, I mean it goes on for what feels like maybe 2 minutes, and then Spike wins.
They're in an amusement park.
Yeah, yeah. Spike gets knocked out. He shoots the guy into the sky, assumed dead, I guess. My final note here, which is very important. Yeah. When a show from 2021 reminds you of the Scooby-Doo movie from 2002, that's a bad sign. Because the fight scene with the fucking clown, with him, because he flies, by the way, it reminded me entirely of the opening scene to the 2002 Scooby-Doo movie, where they're fighting the flying fucking clown in the warehouse.
Because it literally looked like there were like cables attached.
Oh my god, it looked like there were cables attached to this guy. It legitimately looked like the scene from Scooby-Doo. It was terrible.
The guy had like flying shoes. God. The shoes made him fly, but like it looks so bad.
Oh my god, it was so fucking bad. All right, and Spike falls unconscious. Good. Falls unconscious. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Vicious shows up. Julia tried to betray him or whatever, and he's like, "Hello, darling," and he's like covered in blood, and it's like, oh god, he's really hamming it up. Yeah. The dude was like a Game of Thrones character for real. But he's like, I've got a story for you, or he says something like that. Yeah. The next episode.
Last episode.
Hey, no. Right. Episode 9. Oh, right. Would you? Nox just remembered. Nox, would you like to tell us the synopsis of episode 9? I think you could do this pretty well.
I can't because we skipped it, because we noticed basically that it was just a Julia backstory episode, and there was no point to that because we just skipped all of
We
those scenes.
skipped the entirety of episode 9. The entirety of episode 9.
The
Because we
entirety,
started
literally.
watching it. And we got about a minute
We,
in, and I noticed that it was like a lot of backstory. And then the opening started. We watched the opening, and then we noticed it was more backstory. And I was like,
yeah, so,
oh no,
so you just started like
oh
skipping
no.
ahead,
So I
like,
started skipping ahead by like 10-minute increments, and it was all backstory.
and you just like flitted through like the thumbnails of like the
And
player bar,
I'm
and
like,
just
oh, okay. So Spike sleeps with Julia, and Julia sleeps with Vicious, and there's a betrayal, and blah 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 blah. I'm like,
and
we
then you
don't need to
kept
watch this.
going, and it's just Julia
Oh my
just
god,
throughout
we
the
just see
whole
Julia
episode.
naked in bed with Spike, and we're like, oh, whatever. Who
So we
fucking
literally just
cares?
skipped
Anyone
right
with a
over it.
brain could have figured this out.
Yeah, I know. I don't,
So that's episode 9.
literally no point to episode 9. And then episode 10 leaves off right where
Opens up.
episode 8 ended.
Episode 10 opens up right where episode 8 ended.
So
Right at the
literally
exact moment. You don't
no
need 9.
point. No point to episode 9.
Episode 9 is for stupid people who can't figure out what's happening. Who can't figure out why Vicious could possibly hate Spike so much.
Episode 9
You
was
think
made
he
just
slept
to
with
make
your
it
girlfriend?
just to make it an even 10.
Oh my god. They made it for episode 9 to be skipped. How nice. Yeah, it felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, these notes are very, very vague. Holy shit, episodes 10 notes are vague.
I didn't even make it. I didn't make a single note about this one.
Oh my god. Episode 10, my first note is what appears to be 30 question marks. And then in all caps, you're not a family, you hate each other!
Yes. They kept going with that until the end.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, Isu, a lot of things are in Bebop are up to interpretation.
This episode sucked.
Oh boy. Oh
This
boy.
episode sucked so bad. This is the let me refresh Cowboy Bebop. I want to read you guys all the ratings. Right now, at this point, here we go. Episode 1, 7.1. Episode 2, 6.9. Episode 3, 6.8. Episode 4, 7.0. Episode 5, 6.6. Episode 7, 6.3. I think I missed a fucking one. Whatever.
Oh, sorry.
What you need to know is that it goes generally down the line around 7 to 6.5 about for each one.
Mm-hmm.
The final episode of this show has a 5.5, the lowest rating of any of the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
That is miserable.
It was supposed to be like the last episode of the show. Also,
Oh. It's weird. It takes a veer. I literally had to look up what happens in the final episode of the anime because I could not remember because this was confusing me so much. It like takes a sharp left turn.
very
Like completely different from what happens in Bebop.
like almost a 180.
But what you need to know about is that Jet, with his new daughter, with his daughter that was invented right for this show, his daughter that becomes very apparent to me and Knox while watching this episode, that was created for plot propulsion and nothing more. Because guess what happens to the daughter? That's right. She gets kidnapped.
Yes. Wow.
And Jet gets a fucking phone call. We have your daughter. Bring us Spike Spiegel. And it's like, oh, God. They created a liability for Jet just so this could happen.
Yeah, I had a bad feeling that was what's gonna happen to her.
And it did.
Why other reason would you invent a daughter for a character to have?
So they try to trick Vicious, and it doesn't work, and they capture Jet, his daughter, and Spike. Faye, meanwhile, is where? Oh, she's trying to, like, figure out her past or some shit. Who cares?
She wasn't anywhere.
Yeah, she's just off doing her own thing. And meanwhile, they're all captured in a church, which is where the finale of Cowboy Bebop takes place, is in a
Mm-hmm.
church, the anime. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, are they really doing the series finale of Bebop in the season 1 finale of the Netflix Bebop?
That's only 10
That's
episodes long.
weird. I was like, huh, what are they going to do if it's season 2? Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that because it made me want to puke.
Yeah.
Um, so
Uh,
basically, they're about to die, yada, yada, yada. All of a sudden, Faye shows up. No idea how she found them. No idea.
yeah.
Faye just finds people in this show. Magically. No idea. I wonder if they'll ever explain that if they make a season 2. God willing. And by
Got
God
it.
willing, I mean God forbid.
Yes.
So Faye is able to shoot them loose with her spaceship. She shoots
Mm-hmm.
the ropes, which seems a little odd and seems a little dangerous to do around a child, but okay.
Yeah.
Um, they start to escape. Spike gets shot in the shoulder, and it was right where Jet's daughter's head was. So we were like, did the bullet go through
Yeah.
Spike and hit the daughter? But it didn't. It wasn't that dark.
Like it shot him in the back, and
Ugh.
if it had kept going, it would have gone right through her fucking head.
Oh my god. Alternate end, Faye kills Jet's kid.
God.
Fucking
Then
Faye lands. Faye lands. They get in. Spike, of course, does that fucking movie thing. And he's like, you go.
Oh. Yeah.
I got unfinished business. And Faye's like,
Yeah.
but, and Jet's like, no, let him go. And
Let him go. Literally. That's how it happened. We were just like, what?
What? Whatever, dude.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
I made a joke that the only way they can make this worse is if Faye were to go, but I love you. And the worst part is, that seems completely plausible at that point.
I know.
Completely plausible.
You're just trying to like make jokes that probably would have happened.
Oh my god. That was definitely in the boardroom, you know it.
Oh yeah.
And they cut that. I'm Cowboy Bebopping my head into a fucking wall. This sucks.
Yeah, imagine watching.
Imagine watching it for 10 hours ish. Okay. So Spike and Vicious have this showdown. It's kind of lame, to be honest.
Yeah.
It doesn't really go anywhere.
It doesn't.
Um,
Julia's there.
Julia shows up. This was the part where I had to look it up. Because Julia, in the anime, she dies before the final eye catch.
Yeah.
And that's why Spike and Vicious is so fucking mad at each other. The end of Bebop is real fucking interesting. I won't get into spoilers, but it's up for debate. What really happens? But all you need to know is that Spike falls out the fucking window in this. The church window. Which I'm gonna say is probably like 100 feet up.
Yeah.
Was there an ocean, or am I thinking of Shrek?
No, there was not an ocean.
I don't think there was an ocean in Shrek, so I don't know what I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
Okay, Spike's just fucking falling. Free
Yeah.
fall. You know.
Yeah.
By the way, they use the seatbelt soundtrack in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they reused a lot of songs. Not all of them, but
Sorry, I looked up Bebop Julia for 2 seconds, and I got Cowboy Bebop's flashback episode is the biggest, most crucial departure from the anime. Okay.
uh-huh.
Okay. Crucial.
Crucial. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
the thing is, they tried to make Julia like one of the main characters of the fucking show.
and it didn't work.
It didn't
It
work.
didn't work at all because we skipped all of our scenes because they're fucking boring.
They're fucking boring and
Ugh.
agonizing.
Oh God.
They didn't affect the show at all.
No. Nothing what Julia did. Nothing in the anime what Julia did except for her small amounts of scenes. A fucking 90% of the episodes weren't even about Julia and Vicious.
Yeah.
Never even mentioned.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Let me try to wrap this up as succinctly as possible. Spike's falling to the ground. Cuts to Faye and Jet. No, it cuts to Jet. Jet has a depressing
Yeah.
scene with his estranged wife and daughter where the daughter's like talking to the stepdad and she calls him dad and she's like, I'm scared. And it's fucking sad.
Yeah.
It's real fucking sad. Then Faye shows up and Jet basically tells her to get lost. And that's fucking sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then turns out Spike's alive and Spike shows up and Jet tells Spike to take a hike.
Yeah.
And that's fucking sad.
It's like,
The end of
okay.
this fucking season, or show, depending, God willing, is so fucking depressing. It's so sad. I'm like, this is fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Nobody had a happy ending at the end of this.
It's like, oh, they're a big family. Oh no, now they're
Another
separate.
family drama.
Oh no.
So, oh no. So,
Uh,
it's time.
the part a lot of people have been waiting for.
It's time for the part that you've all been waiting for. The part that Knox and I asked a question about. Part that everyone asked a question about.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Ed?
I had only seen one interview in an article saying that, oh, Ed's in it. And that's it.
Where's Ed?
Where is Ed? Well, here she comes.
Good fucking God. Oh, good fucking
I had
God.
not seen anything.
Knox had not
Miraculously.
seen anything. I was like, Knox, you stay off Twitter. Knox, you stay off Twitter. Because what we were, quote unquote, welcomed with was this. Jesus fucking Christ.
You ever been to an anime convention and see an Ed cosplayer act all, cringy and everything? That is exactly what we were faced with.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Spy Kids.
Oh my God.
Very.
Oh my God.
I was speechless.
I saw 3 seconds of a scene like a few days before, and I was like, Knox and I need to finish this. Knox and I need to finish this show. I need to see what this is.
Like, dear God.
They look like a Danganronpa cosplay.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel bad for their actor. They're probably getting a lot of shit.
Yeah, probably. It's not their fault, I'm sure.
It's not their
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh my God, it was terrible.
Not great.
It
Not
was
great.
terrible. It was so
Like-
hard to watch.
Like, Ed as a character is just like as one of those anime characters that just like don't act really human, so it's
Yeah,
kind of
no,
hard to like.
We talked about this, me and Knox. There's no way in our brains that we can think that you can bring this character to live action.
In like
This
a
character
good way.
is 100% anime. They have no bones. They're just
No-
like
no bones.
springy and jumpy, and
Yep.
it's just a cartoon character. You cannot bring this character.
Yeah.
You can't do it. I think they would have been better off with no Ed.
Honestly, yeah.
They would have been better off.
And they kind of close off the season with that.
No, not so fast.
Well, I mean.
Yeah, no, that's the final scene you see, by the way. Yeah. The Ed shit.
Yeah. And Ed brings up something interesting.
Ed brings up something that makes me want to puke.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's worth mentioning that Julia kept Vicious alive, because Julia's pissed.
Yeah.
Julia kept Vicious alive for some reason, probably to bring him back in season 2.
Yeah, for some reason.
For some reason.
Not only that.
Not only that, it's one thing that Ed said. Ed said, Velaju. They have to go find Velaju. Spike's got to get up because he's drunk at this point. And Ed's like,
Yeah,
we
he's
got to go
passed over.
find Velaju. Velaju is the last name of the villain from the Bebop movie.
Mm-hmm.
So they ran out of villains in season fucking 1 of Cowboy Bebop Netflix.
Even though Vicious is still alive and so is Julia.
Even though Vicious and
But
Julia are still alive, I
but
think
they,
I think they're going to fuse the plot of the Cowboy Bebop movie into
Yep.
season 2,
yeah,
which is going to fucking suck because
that's
I
going to
love the
blow.
Bebop movie,
Yeah,
and this is going to be horrible. Oh my
yeah.
god.
In
Oh,
like 10 more episodes,
oh, oh.
I'm. I don't want to do it.
Oh.
If they end up fucking going through it, I don't want to watch
Oh,
it.
well, don't worry, Knox. It'll be another 3 or so years, hopefully, before we have to watch them.
Hopefully.
So maybe this will have worn off and we won't have to remember it. Would you suggest watching the anime and then the movie, or watch the movie after a certain episode?
Don't
The
watch the
movie's
movie. Don't. Oh, the movie.
the movie.
Sorry, I'm
No,
thinking
not
about
the
the live
Netflix show. No, the
Yes.
movie is completely disconnected.
Yeah,
You could
yeah.
watch the movie alone. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the best parts about the movie, is that they don't incorporate that a lot into movies, where they're just like, oh, you have to know everything about the show to watch the movie. No,
Yeah, you don't. You
no,
don't need to know anything about the
no.
anime to
You
watch
could
the
just
movie.
watch the movie. The
You can
movie.
literally just watch the movie.
You could just watch the movie. Yeah. It's just like a long episode, completely
Mm-hmm.
disconnected from the rest of the show.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
I like
good.
it.
I love the movie. I've seen it in theaters a couple times. Very good movie.
Mm-hmm. have
Unlike this show. So, I
Hmm.
have a list of good things written down here to take away from this. One thing on here we did not mention, but I'll bring that up in a second. Here are the 2 other good things, though. Is that Ein was a good boy.
I was a good
Ein's
boy.
acting was great, and that's because Ein didn't talk,
I was just a dog.
and Ein
They
was just a
kept him a
dog.
dog. They didn't CGI him at all.
Nope.
He was just a
He
dog
wasn't
who
in it
sat there.
much, in fairness, but then again,
He didn't do
Ein
much.
wasn't in Bebop much either. Ein wasn't in the anime very much.
He kind of was.
He
But
was no, he would appear for like 2 seconds sometimes, and that was it.
yeah.
I remember vividly an episode where he's just wearing a wig, and that's like
Yes.
the only scene you see of him for the entire episode.
Mm-hmm.
The second good thing I've written down is Faye had sex with a woman.
Yeah. The LGBT representation we deserve.
Mm-hmm. And the third good thing I've written down here I didn't talk about is that Spike, when he was in the syndicate,
Oh yeah.
his name was Fearless,
Mm-hmm.
which I was like, that seems too cool for this show to make up. But I looked it up, and that's something they came up with.
Yeah.
When he was part of the syndicate, his name was Fearless, which goes well with Vicious.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking cool, actually.
I thought that was
Yeah,
neat,
I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. I thought it was too cool for this show. I was like,
yeah.
there's no way they could have come up with that. Apparently they did.
But they did.
Somebody made that up and was like, nah, this is a good idea, actually. Is that a Taylor Swift reference? Very funny. I thought that was pretty cool. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. My final note on this is depressing fucking ending.
Very.
Actually, here's my full notes for episode 10. Drama. Okay, so what? What? I'm so sick of this shit. Wow, it's Faye. Wow. Cowboy be bad. Yeah.
Bad. Yeah, the thing, when we finished the show, it promoted the anime right
Yes,
after.
you know how when you're watching a Netflix, for people watching Netflix, when you finish up and then it's like you finish a season or something, and it pops up into a little window and to show the credits, and then it shows something in the background.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
you
a
should watch this
suggested.
next. They
Yeah.
recently added the Cowboy Bebop anime to Netflix. So it popped
Hmm.
up and said, would you like to watch the Cowboy Bebop anime?
Yeah, like I don't know what their message of that
Uh,
was necessarily. Like, oh, you like the live action? Watch the
it's
original.
like they're
But
spitting in
in
your
my eyes,
face.
it was just like, oh, a palate cleanse. Like because that was so fucking bad and left such a bad
Oh,
taste in my mouth and
oh,
such a waste of my fucking time.
oh, oh. Yeah, Isu says,
Like,
the thing is that you were excited. No, in fairness, Nox has gone on record. Nox was not excited.
eh.
Nox didn't think the show was going to be good. I was excited.
At first, I didn't think. When I saw the opening, I felt a little more promise with it. I still didn't want to watch it because it was a live action remake and animation live action remakes. I never want to get into or support. And again, that will be something else I go on about entirely. But overall, I wanted to have hope that it would be
I had high
somehow,
hopes.
somewhat
I had high
good.
hopes.
Just decent.
I got,
At least
I got
decent.
fucked over.
Yeah.
I had high
it,
hopes, but
it,
I got trampled pretty
both
bad.
of us got fucked over. It was worse than I
No,
anticipated.
yeah, no, absolutely. Either way, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
To finish this off, I'd like to read off the Rotten Tomatoes review for this.
Oh yeah.
Here it is. Cowboy Bebop. 49%, 53% audience score.
Mm.
Those are pretty close together, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, reviewers and audience agree. Not good.
No.
Yep.
Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your
Live
time.
action. Just watch
Just
the
watch
anime.
this and just watch our review of
Yeah.
us screaming about it, and just watch the anime.
I'll condense an entire reaction thing about the highlights of what we saw and
Yeah,
how
see
we
if there's anything funny in
took and
there.
everything. I'll put it somewhere. Not anywhere that it could get copyright
Right?
claimed,
Yeah.
absolutely. But, you know.
Yeah. Man. All right. That's that.
Oh, it's over with.
Huge
I can go on
disappointment.
with my life.
Yeah, now we're free from the curse. We no longer have to talk about this fucking show.
Now I can totally forget about it.
Yeah, let's just forget it exists. I'm probably gonna forget everything about it in the next week or so. So this
What were we doing?
this be huh? What? Oh, I
What?
know.
Where am I? Hi, Ryan.
You
How
want
do
to
we
talk
get here?
about the Bebop show?
Oh, the
Let's
anime?
get
Yeah,
started.
it's
Let me get.
great.
Oh yeah, we didn't watch that yet. Let's go watch it now. Yeah, this BRB screen is like a punch in the face.
I know. Wait, did we talk about having them the Sea of Space Cowboy on the left side of the screen?
Oh my god, we didn't! All right, so at the end of the episodes,
Just one more
on the
thing.
anime, just one more thing. As Columbo would say, yeah, but just one more thing. At the end of Cowboy Bebop, the anime, every episode they would have the CU Space Cowboy.
We have a feeling why they did this.
We have a theory. We have a theory. On the end of the animes, they would have them on the right side of the screen, bottom right, always. CU Space Cowboy or something else, depending.
Yeah.
For the live action, the CU Space Cowboy is on the bottom left of the screen.
Yep.
So we're like,
It's
they
all the
couldn't
way
even
over
get
there.
that fucking right. But then we realized,
So we're like, what?
we think the reason why they did it is because
Yeah, Netflix has this thing.
the Netflix little pop-up in the corner, it'll say next episode, or sometimes it'll like shrink the credits down into the bottom right. So we think they put it in the left so the
that
little
you could
box
see
wouldn't
it.
cover over the text.
Yeah.
It still bugged the piss out of us, but
Yeah.
it was probably for a good reason. They probably tested
Quote
that
unquote
shit.
good.
Yeah, quote unquote. All right, that's it. That's the last note.
That's it.
That's it. I'm sure there's something else we're forgetting, but fuck it.
I'm done talking about
do
this
not give a
damn
shit.
show.
Want to go watch some Bebop and voice chat?
Maybe
All right.
I need to do. I don't know. I
Okay.
need a. I don't know.
Nox needs to sleep.
I need to just lay down and forget everything. I need a
Okay.
moment to just get everything out of my fucking head, and then maybe we can watch some.
Okay. All right. Bye, Nox.
Bye, Ryan.
Thanks for watching, guys. That was almost 2 hours. Hold on. Wait. We try to get Nox back in the line. Nox,
What?
that was almost 2 hours. I'm still live right now, but that was 1 hour and 53 minutes. Holy shit.
I didn't feel that long.
What
Oh
the
my
fuck?
God. In that time, you could have been watched 2 of those episodes, guys.
Oh,
We saved you some
we
time.
saved you some time. We cut it down. We cut it way down. All right.
Oh,
Bye,
God.
Nox.
Bye.
All right. See you guys later.